This is my prototype Fiffer trebuchet, modeled after the first in Fright machine that could be found here on YouTube. They took second place at the Pumpkin Chuck last year with a throw of 1,920 feet. I like their design, so I built a small one just for some testing. So basics of the design. Up front, this is where the counterweight would be attached. As the counterweight falls, it falls in a nearly vertical track, guided by this long beam, which pivots back here. As the counterweight falls, it causes these two linkages to scissors apart, making this pin here move down and forward. As that pin moves down and forward, it pulls on this web strap, which transfers the power up to the arm through these cams. The first in Fright machine uses a linkage instead of web strap and cams. I thought this was easier to construct. I didn't have to have a linkage the correct length. Maybe a little more lightweight. In the future of larger designs, maybe I'll have trouble finding materials strong enough to pull the arm around, but for now I think I'm good. One disadvantage of using a web strap and a cam is now I have to catch the arm, which is what these ropes are for up front here. Compared to an onager, this is a pretty easy catch. There's no tension from the wrappings, the counterweight is off, and with a properly tuned throw, the arm should be moving fairly slow at the end of the launch anyway. I'm hoping in the future that I can modify these cams instead of being semicircles to be more oblong to provide more efficiency and a faster throw. Some items I like about the Fiffer design. First, as I said before, the counterweight falls nearly vertically, which is the goal of all fat floating arm trebuchets and F2Ks. Like I said, this falls nearly vertically. It has a little bit of arc, but it's pretty minimal. I like that instead of having the friction of a linear track, the only friction for the counterweight is from this pivot back here, which is much less than a vertical track. Also, the linkages here provide a much greater leverage when the weight is up and moving slow on your arm, for your arm. Creates a lot more tension here. As the counterweight falls and picks up speed, and your arm is picking up speed, it's losing leverage but gaining velocity, causing your arm to move faster. I like that. Another thing I like is the counterweight can be caught. When this falls, it lands on the ground, or without my counterweights on, it lands on these two beams down here. Theoretically, you could catch a floating arm counterweight or an F2K, but your arm would be at the vertical position when it is caught, which is not ideal. Here, I can let the arm get just past the vertical position when my weight is caught. Reduces the jolt on my machine, but I still get the full power of the throw. This design also seemed fairly stable. This guides it well. I don't have to worry about wheels staying on tracks. I don't have to worry about swing through that you get with a suspended counterweight trebuchet. Up front here is my trigger. I will post a link for the design of this trigger on the side. I've added a safety to it. You can see through that hole that is connected to the inner piece that keeps it from accidentally firing. Talking about accidental firings, one thing I like about the web strap that you don't get with the linkages, I can unhook the arm from the counterweight so that the sling can be set, and if there's an accidental triggering, you don't have to worry about getting caught in the sling. I also like that it's almost a remote drop. The counterweight falls over here and the arm is over here, so they can be separate. These are the same height. This arm could have been higher, the counterweight could have been higher. I also can have my arm in the vertical position here, which gives it a full 180 degrees swing, a lot of time to put power into your projectile. I will now give the machine a launch so you could see its general motion. As you can see, the arm comes around fairly easily even without any counterweight. I had about 180 pounds on this machine at the Shiocton Cabbage Chuck this past weekend, and we were throwing pairs over 300 feet. I hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck chucking.